So let's hop right in. I have some tapioca flour or tapioca starch. You could probably also use arrowroot flour here. They're very, very similar. They're grain-free. They're from like a tuber. So we have some ground turmeric, we have some salt, and we have some just granulated garlic. There's also black pepper, but I totally forgot to put that in here. I'm just taking a bag, and you could also use a mixing bowl for this, and I'm adding about a third cup of that tapioca flour. I'm just adding that to the bag. Next up, I am going to add in some ground turmeric. I get a big container of this from not Walmart, from Costco, and it's like $5. Turmeric is amazing. It's an amazing anti-inflammatory, so I try to add it to everything. I'm adding some garlic, I'm adding some salt, and you also want to add black pepper for your body to be able to absorb and use just the anti-inflammatory ingredients that are actually in the turmeric. So you can leave that out if you want, but the turmeric is actually going to provide not just the antioxidants, but is also going to give it a beautiful golden color, which is really, really good, and it gives it a slightly buttery flavor. Trust me on this. I've made it without it, and it wasn't as good. I like to add like a piece of wax paper to my surface whenever I'm working with like raw meat and things like that. I have a plate and a bowl, and I have my little setup. I have a pair of kitchen shears or kitchen scissors, and I'm looking at these boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I have about 6 of them. I get that big triple pack from Costco, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off most of the fat on each one of these. You don't have to do this, but I in my opinion, I think that just cutting off these little pieces helps just the texture of the chicken, because the parts that will have a little bit of that fat on there are a little more chewy, which I do like, but I like just to go ahead and cut most of that off. So that's what I'm doing here quickly. You could use a knife if you don't have scissors, but these are perfect for when you get to the point where you want to cut these chicken thighs up, which is what I like to do. You could also use a cutting board and a knife and just cut it that way. This is just a lot quicker. I've made it both ways, and this is a lot quicker. So you are going to see this is all the fat that's left over that I've trimmed, and then all of these chicken thighs. It makes a ton. Imagine how much this would cost if you went through the drive-thru of Chick-fil-A. I'm just saying. And this won't be deep fried. So that's my fat. I'm just going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to add in my chicken thighs here. And I kind of want to make sure they're not stuck together. As you can see, I'm not dipping them or dredging them in anything. This is super, super simple. And I'm giving everything a little bit of space. I'm not going to put all of this in here at one time, but I like to save half of it, and I'm not put all of that in the bag, just so everything gets nice and coated. So depending on the size of your chicken thighs, you may need to add just a little bit more of the tapioca starch for your second batch that you're going to flour, but I usually don't. We're just getting a light coating on this because it's going to just get this nice, crisp texture on the outside. It's really, really delicious. So I'm just shaking that up, and this is what it looks like when it's all coated. I also like to use plastic gloves whenever I'm working with chicken or fish or any meat, really. I just don't like the way it feels on my hands. That's just a personal thing. Anyways, so you can also use a mixing bowl for this, and I'm just going to grab these pieces out. You can use this recipe for an air fryer or for baking, and I'm going to link below blog post that I did on that. This is what it looks like. You want to give it a little more space than this, and if you have a basket air fryer, you are going to want to do that in 2 batches. This is me with just a mixing bowl, and I'm going to show you what this looks like to put on just a sheet pan covered with some parchment paper. I also have just a pair of tongs, so I can just get in there. I can shake some of the excess off, and I'm going to go ahead and line my parchment lined baking sheet with this, and these are going to be golden and beautiful. I'm giving them some space in between, and these come together in about 25 minutes. You can check the internal temperature, make sure that it's 165 degrees. So this is what the air fryer version looks like, and they come out a little crispier, so that's a great option too, but they also take the same amount of time. But these are juicy. When I say these are 10 times better than chicken breasts, they just are. Then I have some gold potatoes that I roasted at the same time. So I like to cook in batches. All of this cooked in 25 minutes. and then I just steamed some broccoli at the end. And that's how simple it is. I have some dipping sauce. You could use some dairy-free ranch. I'll link some below, or some honey mustard, whatever you like. This is the Primal Kitchen that I share all the time, and dinner is done. Until next time, your life matters, what you do with it matters, so what will you steward well? Thanks for watching.